What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Stacks Porzingis, PV the Plug, 140 through the wire, number one Knicks fan, aka Mr. Know It All, and y'all knew that this was coming. It's a tough day as a Knicks fan again. Once a year we get these tough days, but it's just like you just want to hide. You want to go into hibernation. Twitter, Instagram, all the social media, just making fun of the Knicks again. We the butt of everybody joke once again. I've spoken on this plenty of times before on my personal YouTube channel, on Through the Wire or whatnot. I spoke out on the fact that I thought that, Fizdale should have been given a longer leash. You know what I mean? We should keep him and just ride through it, you know what I mean, for the first time in a long time. A lot of guys in the past years with the Knicks haven't finished their contract, and we haven't really given a coach a lot of belief. When you look at a team like the Philadelphia 76ers and their process with Brett Brown, he was around when the times were tough, and so they allowed him to, coach his way through that and build something to it. Now they're, one of the favorites to come out of the East and actually have a chance at contention. And it's a lot of cases like that where a lot of teams just, they ride it out with their coach. They have somebody, they solidify him, and they say, this is our guy. We're going to roll with him. We're going to rock with him at least through his contract, but the Knicks history, I think after Fizdale, we will be hiring our 13th coach in 18 years, which if you ask me is pretty ridiculous, and is probably number one in the NBA by a very, very large margin. And that was just my biggest thing. My biggest thing was just, we have so much history of doing this and taking this route where, we sign a coach for, 3 or 4 years, and the coach never finishes contract. They only serve about half of the contract, if that, because Fizdale didn't even serve half of this. And it's just like, you can't expect these dumpster situations that we're in, you know what I mean? Because we're in a lot of deep shit as far as the Knicks organization is. You can't really expect a coach to come in and change that in a year or a year and a half, especially when we're not when we're not acquiring big name free agents, or even in the case of the NBA draft, as well as RJ has been, we didn't even get the number one pick like everybody anticipated for us. You know what I mean? So you look at a lot of these different situations where we got Kevin Knox, and he hasn't been, one of the best people out of his class. He's been, up and down. Frank Ntilikina, even though he's young and Kevin Knox is still young, he was another guy who was a lottery pick and has been up and down. And then you look at some of the talented players that, were chosen after these guys, it starts to just get frustrating, and it starts to just all add up into to create this big dumpster fire that I just said, and it becomes too much for a coach to come in and change in one situation. RJ Barrett, as good of a rookie as he is, he can't come in and wash away all of the mistakes that we made in previous drafts. As good as RJ Barrett can be and is going to be, he can't wash away that we took Kevin Knox and he might not become nothing, or that we took Frank Ntilikina and he might not become nothing. He can't wash that away. So a coach like Fizdale, a fairly new head coach, he had a stint with the Grizzlies, but that was his first actual head coaching job, and so he was still new as far as being a head coach. He isn't like some veteran head coach that is worked his way around the league and has a bunch of experience. You know what I mean? So you're working with a young coach. You have a young team. We haven't been good in years. And years we haven't been good. And now you put this coach in a situation to where you want him to flip the entire dynamic of the organization in a year and a half, and that's just not right. You didn't go out and get the talent that you kind of projected and put out there all year the previous year with this Kyrie and Kevin Durant. We're going to get the number one pick with Zion, and then we can possibly trade him and a couple of young pieces to get AD. All of these things y'all put out there as far as the Knicks organization, the people who actually call the shots of hiring and firing a guy like Fizdale, y'all put all of that out. Y'all insinuated those things. And a lot of stuff was leaking and coming out, and y'all was kind of pushing towards that. You know what I mean? Making trades. Like, you don't trade Kristaps Porzingis without having some type of thought that you're going to get one of those guys. You just don't. I don't care what anybody says, especially with the get back that we got. You know what I mean? I don't think that our front office made that trade and was like, yeah, we're probably not going to get Kevin Durant and Kyrie, but we'll get Dennis Smith Jr. I think they traded that. They traded Kristaps Porzingis with the belief that we would get somebody. And it didn't happen. When we got back, A lot of it left. Dennis Smith Jr. and the pick stayed, but Courtney Lee he's gone. DeAndre Jordan is gone, and that's fine. I like the picks. Don't get me wrong. I like the picks, but again, that's tough for a guy like Fizdale. We had our staple. We had our all-star. We had our future of the league type guy. A draft pick that did pan out. Y'all got rid of him. And now y'all brought back Dennis Smith Jr., who again was a cool rookie in his rookie class, the same class as Frank Ntilikina, but still was up and down and hasn't solidified himself as a young star or a young guy that's going to take over and be, a key piece in your franchise. So now we have more hope that we're leaning on with those 2 draft picks. Then we get the money is opened up. Cool. That was something all of us, for the fans and the organization, could lean on. And before last season offseason, we traded Kristaps. That's a big blow. But we have all of this money, and we're going to do something with it. And that's exactly what the front office was trying to portray. Offseason comes, we don't get Kyrie, we don't get Kevin Durant. The ping pong balls don't go our way, so we don't get the first overall pick to potentially try to trade for Anthony Davis. We get the 3rd pick. Which turned out to be good. As we can see, RJ Barrett has been one of the best players on our team already as a young rookie. And then we do the smart route in offseason. We don't get the guys. We don't get the stars. That's fine. That's one thing. But I was very proud as a Knicks fan because we took the smart route. We didn't go and overpay anybody unnecessary. We didn't make any dumb long-term contract decisions. We got nice, solid veterans. We got some young guys that show potential like Julius Randle. And Elfrid Payton, and we gave everybody 1-year deals or 1+1 deals that we can get out of, that almost all of them have a team option. I think the only one that doesn't have a team option, if I'm not mistaken, is Julius Randle, and I could be wrong on that. But for the most part, we did a very good job handling that in free agency. Everybody had jokes for that. And, of course, the Knicks became the butt of everybody's jokes during that offseason, rightfully so. But as a Knicks fan and as a realistic Knicks purist, I was happy with the way that offseason went. We had some young guys that showed bright spots in the previous year, like a Dennis Smith Jr., Mitchell Robinson. I still have faith in Kevin Knox bouncing back and having a better season after his rookie year. Alonzo Trier showed good moments. And then we also still have Frank Ntilikina, who we all believe in. And then on top of that, we just got RJ Barrett and we got Ignas. So I was like, okay, we had some things going. Now you add a nice solid piece like Bobby Portis, who's shown flashes off of the bench and was real good for the Wizards after the trade from Chicago. You went out and got Julius Randle, who, was playing kind of like an all-star out there in New Orleans. Real good, safe pick. You got Marcus Morris, leadership, tough, hard-nosed. You get Reggie Bullock, who was a great shooter for a while before his injuries. Wayne Ellington, Taj Gibson. Guys who've been on playoff rosters, guys who are specialists, and also guys that you will be able to make expandable at the trade deadline if we fell on our face, which 20 games into the season, we fell on our face. So when the trade deadline comes around, a lot of these guys that we have on these 1-year deals or 1+1s, they'll have value for these contending playoff teams like a Philadelphia 76ers, like a Boston Celtics team, like a Rockets team, or any of these teams that's really trying to compete and make a late season push. We'll be one of the top teams that a lot of these teams will be calling because we have some of those pieces. Wayne Ellington can impact the team. Marcus Morris can impact the team. Bobby Portis can give a team some minutes. So we have guys that a lot of teams will probably call and ask about, and we can try to expand them and get, hopefully a first-round pick, a nice young player, something, something to continue to build in the right direction. So with all of that being said, everything was going in the right direction and we were being smart. But going into the season, we all as Knicks fans had high expectations because we have young guys who've been real solid and have been surprising. We just got RJ Barrett, who we all figured would be real solid. And then we added some guys that are solid, some guys that have some pride, some guys that are going to come out there and work their ass off and be gritty and protect home court and make sure New York isn't looked at as a joke. And we all had a proper vibe. But we knew there was a chance that this could all fall apart. It was either going to be hit or miss. And we were happy because we said we did the right thing in the free agency. If it's a hit, let's do it. But if it's a miss, we continue our plan. We use these guys at the trade deadline, bring some type of value back, and we keep moving forward a part of our plan. And we keep building around this young core that we have. We'll get another pick. Hopefully, LaMelo, James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards. You add them to the core of a RJ Barrett, Frank Ntilikina, Whatever you want to do with Dennis Smith Jr., Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and we keep adding to that, and we'll still have our money to go and try to to overpay for somebody that has potential, because this is a restricted free agency that we're about to approach. And if not, we'll just do the 1+1s again, build our team up, and keep going in the right, smart direction. Now, something that was a possibility happens. It's not hit. We miss. The season is terrible. We're going down that path again. But I thought we were going to stay on our plan, but we didn't. We fired our coach. So now we have to restart this whole process of finding a coach, finding a leader, finding somebody to create, not only a system, but an identity, and find somebody that can really create a brand that we can all buy into, that we can all follow, and we can all go about this blueprint and this vision. Because the vision and what we're doing going forward, it has to start with the coach. It has to start with the coach. It has to start with the coach. It has to. Because clearly the front office isn't going to make any changes. Clearly ownership isn't going to change. The top is going to stay the same. And at this point, I don't know what benefit of firing Fizdale is going to give us. Because if that's not going to change up top, then nothing's going to change. The roster has changed over the years. The coaching has changed. Like I said, we've had 13 head coaches in 18 years. And nothing about our results have changed. We continue to be a shit show. But the top remains the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it's broke, you have to fix that shit. And the top is broke. So until we're going to do something about the top, I don't give a fuck about firing a coach in the middle of his second year on a 4-year deal. Every coach that we go out and get just gets free money, because it's like, hey, I signed a 4-year contract, but I'm only really going to have to coach for 1 full year. They're going to fire me during my second year because they're going to need a scapegoat. And then we got to start this whole rebuild over. And it's funny for me to say it. I know a lot of people will be like, that's funny, whatever. But it really is a rebuild inside of multiple rebuilds. How many times can we restart or restart? And that was my main gripe, is that we should just stick on our plan. Just grind through it, because now in the middle of the season, we got 4 wins, about 18 losses, 19 losses. A new coach ain't about to come in and all of a sudden we go on a 25-game win streak. You know what I mean? So what's the point? And any new coach that comes in now, a lot of this roster should be traded at the deadline. That would be the smart thing to do. Hopefully we do that. And then now you're going to bring a new coach in. Half of this roster is going to not really give a fuck what he's talking about, because we're already 4-19, and a lot of these guys know they're probably going to be traded. So now he's going to have to come in and deal with that. It's just not a bad start. It's just not a good start for a new coach to come in. Hopefully, we don't hire our coach during the rest of the season. We just let the interns do what they do, and we ride it out. So a brand new coach doesn't have to come in the middle of this mess. And unless we go out and get a clear-cut guy like Mark Jackson, I really don't know. I don't really have any hope right now. It's just real frustrating. It's very frustrating. I know a lot of different teams that have fans inside of their fan base that are truly upset and truly disappointed in things that are going on. But man, it don't get no worse than this. We finally make the smart decisions in the draft by acquiring Kristaps Porzingis, somebody like that, who by any means, please don't get me wrong, I don't want to sit up here and pretend like Kristaps Porzingis is Giannis by any means. But what I will say is Kristaps Porzingis on this roster is better than anybody on this entire Knicks roster. Better. And I do like the idea of having a Kristaps RJ Barrett type duo. If we had that going forward, I think we would have something to work with. It would be something a lot more tangible to build around than just the possibility of RJ Barrett, because he's still very young and he's shown flashes, but we just don't know how good is he. Is RJ Barrett going to be the guy that you build your entire franchise around, or is RJ Barrett going to be a key number 2 or number 3 option to a successful team? We don't know that yet. So we have to kind of guess and build around that. But it would have been a lot more comforting to know we had Kristaps and RJ. And now we just have to properly build around them. And if we could land a guy that would be a number 1 or above them, then we're probably, going to be a top elite team at some point. But now, again, we put ourselves in a situation where we got to go on a coaching hunt. We got to hope that we find the right coach. We got to hope that the ping pong balls go our way and we get the number 1 pick, because it's a possibility it can land and give us a number 3 or number 4 again, because that's just the way it works. We got to hope that something opens up in free agency and we got to hope that we can get some value back for these pieces at the trade deadline that we can try to expand. Because if not, I can only imagine us hiring another coach that's still young or isn't respected or doesn't have a lot of experience or whatever, and now that could turn into a shit show again, and we can, in a year and a half from now, be in another situation where we're restarting this. Because realistically, next year is just going to be, it isn't going to be a success either. It's being realistic. I'm not saying it can't be, but you think about it, we're going to have another top 5 pick. We're going to lose a lot of the veterans that we have on the team right now. We're going to have to replace those. There's going to be another new set of guys coming in, a new team that has to gel, a new team, a new system that has to get used to a new coaching, a new way of playing, a new system. And then we got to hope that, whatever rookie that we do get with that top pick is actually good and we don't miss another draft pick. And then we have to hope that in the second, third year of a RJ Barrett and Kevin Knox and Frank Neal, we have to hope that those guys, one of them, one of them make a significant jump. We got to hope Mitchell Robinson just solidifies itself as a nice, young, talented big, even more than what he's done in his rookie year. This season's been up and down. He's been battling injuries and whatnot. It's been a little bit disappointing. But we have to hope Frank Ntilikina solidifies itself as somebody that's a part of this core. We have to hope that Kevin Knox solidifies himself as a part of this core. And then hope that whoever we draft is actually legit. So, it's a mess. That's why I didn't like it. That's why I didn't want it. I know a lot of people reached out to me and was saying that they were anxious to hear my thoughts. I will expand and go deep into this on Through the Wire tomorrow. But I just had to give y'all something now just to answer whatever questions or just to hear my thoughts because I didn't plan on saying anything on Twitter. But that was just my whole spiel. I'm still a Knicks fan. I'm still rooting and hoping we can make the right decisions going forward. But, I just think that firing a coach kind of makes next year, I don't want to say a waste, but it's nothing to really get excited for as far as winning. And when you talk about a franchise that has done a lot of losing the past, I don't know how many years, we just want to win at this point. We just want to win. And firing head coach after head coach, it just restarts everything. We have, like I said, now it's going to be another gelling period. Now we have to hope the ping pongs go our way, and we have to patiently wait for whatever rookie we get to finally become a star. And RJ's still going to have to develop, and we have to depend on all of the other rookies before that. And it's just a mess. Knicks fans, we ready to win. We ready to see some type of result, something we can hold on to. You know what I mean? Even if we don't make it to the playoffs, we would love to have the year that the Kings had last year, where it's just like, oh, we in the right direction. We moving forward. And we haven't even gotten that. Forget winning and making the playoffs. We haven't even got something that we can say, okay, we're moving in the right direction. It's like we take 3 steps forward, and then we take 12 steps back every single year. Appreciate y'all for watching. Please leave a like. Let me know what you think in the comments. If I'm overreacting to this, if there's anything that I'm not paying attention to, if I'm wrong or anything, please let me know. If there's something funny, you can tell me in the comments to cheer me up, man. Please say something. But I made this for y'all. I really just can't believe that we doing this shit again. As far as the Knicks, but I just know a lot of y'all wanted to hear me speak on it, and here we go. So thank y'all for watching, man. Big Stacks Porzingis. I am out.